What's going on, guys? So today we are gonna be reacting to sorry, my hair's mixed up. Today we're gonna be reacting to his story. Now, for those that don't know who his story is, he is this guy that makes animated stories. He's really good. I've seen some of his videos before. You guys might have as well. So we're gonna go ahead and subscribe to him. So yeah, look at these guys that have been doing it. Right, anyway, let's go.
I was eating hot dogs at the fire station, enjoying the first calm day in months, when we got a call from a woman panicking. "There's a massive fire with children in danger. Please come now." I instantly dropped my food, and me and my crew drove over, ready to risk our lives. But when we pulled in, we saw 4 teenagers grilling a small barbecue in their yard. I thought we'd gotten pranked at first, but then a middle-aged woman frantically ran over. "That's them. They're gonna burn my house down and kill everyone. Spray them." I looked at the boys calmly flipping their hot dogs. "Ma'am, called the fire brigade for a barbecue. We can press charges for wasting our time." I started climbing back into my truck, but she physically grabbed my hand and pointed at the smoke rising from the grill. "Those kids are like 9. They can't be around fire." I sighed and
You're meant to do that with barbecues. They're meant to the smoke.
slowly walked over. "How old are you guys?" "We're 18. Me and my dad go camping every month." I turned around to the Karen. "I can't stop
He's probably responsible for the whole thing. Just
legal-aged adults from having a barbecue, ma'am. Plus their hot dogs look perfectly grilled." But this time Karen
agreed.
didn't say a word. She sprinted to our truck and ripped the water hose off the side. She aimed it at the barbecue, and my stomach instantly dropped. 2 trained firefighters could barely control this hose. Me and my crew ran to stop her, but she was already smashing the trigger. But no water was coming out because the water valve hadn't been twisted. "Why isn't this stupid thing working?" She kept pressing. We were inches away from her when suddenly I got an idea. "No!" I quickly stopped my crew and whispered to let her continue. Everyone looked confused until I pointed at her, looking straight into the nozzle. "This fire department is too cheap to even get a working hose. I'm reporting this," she yelled while the kids laughed at her. That's when I snuck around the truck and twisted the valve right as she pressed the trigger. 20 gallons of water instantly shot at her face, hitting her at 50 miles per hour. The force sent her flying back as she hit the ground, and I instantly closed the valve, laughing my off so hard I dropped to the floor. She lay there, still delirious about what planet she was on, looking just as soaked as she was stupid. I slowly got back in the truck, still laughing, and that's when the teenagers ran over with a plate of hot dogs. Thanks for dealing with her. I was eating
What does this comment say? Bro's beaten cancer 37 times, had 89 children, 546 different jobs, been in 62 fights, been in debt, and been a billionaire, mate. That is insane.
I caught the head chef deliberately spitting into my son's food. I noticed my son's chicken was completely pink and raw, right as he was taking a bite, and immediately slapped his fork away. I didn't want him getting salmonella, so I asked the waitress to bring us a new one. But a minute later, the kitchen doors swung open. The head chef started marching right towards me, and I gripped my chair to brace myself. But then he walked by me and personally set a plate down for some man in a suit. He bowed like the man was royalty and immediately hurried back. I didn't think much and went to use the bathroom, but then I saw it. Through the kitchen window, the chef was holding my son's new plate of chicken. "Nobody disrespects my cooking." He was red in the face. "Let's see how that kid likes his chicken now." He pulled off his hat and leaned over, dribbling his forehead sweat all over my son's food. My chest instantly went cold, and I clenched my fist in anger, but I just pulled out my phone and calmly hit record. That's when he raised his head and spit into my son's plate. I watched his saliva streak into my son's meal and wanted to scream. He put it on the window to serve, and I was so shocked I nearly dropped my phone. I was still thinking what to do when I saw the waitress grab it and carry it out. I ran back right as my son put his fork in the chicken. "Don't touch that," I yelled, and my son froze with his fork in the air. "Why not, Dad?" I told him, "Just trust me." And that's when my eyes caught the man in the suit. He was writing in a notepad and photographing his plate, almost like he was judging something. I walked over and asked, "Who are you?" And he looked up from his notepad. "I'm the Health and Food Quality Inspector. I'm assessing the chef's performance tonight." "Why?" My jaw dropped, and when I looked back, the chef was glancing at us with a nervous look. Everything clicked, and I immediately set my phone
You're cooked.
down. I pressed play, and the inspector watched as the chef he was judging spit in my son's food. He immediately set his notepad down so hard the table shook and
Oh, someone's getting in trouble.
The chef sprinted out, wiping his hands and sweat beading down his forehead. "Sir, whatever this man told you, I can explain." But then he saw himself spitting in my son's plate, and his face instantly deflated. The inspector clicked his pen. "Health department, you're being fired, effective immediately." The chef's knees buckled, and the inspector crossed his arms. "But before you leave, you're gonna remake that boy's meal correctly." The chef brought out my son's meal personally within 10 minutes, and this time, the chicken was perfect. My son took a bite, and we watched as he put down his hat and walked out. I caught the head chef
Spitting in someone's food just because they didn't like it is crazy. Nah, you can't be doing that.
I was doing scuba with 80 kids from my new school when my parents and grandma pulled into the driveway. I completely froze because this secret party was my one shot at being popular in
I was doing scuba in front of 80,000 in front of 80 kids in my school.
New school, and they were home early. I jumped off the table so fast I nearly rolled my ankle. My mom walked in with my dad behind her, and their heads immediately turned to a girl throwing up in the new houseplant and a kid peeing in the hallway corner. I screamed, "Alexa, stop the music!" My dad raised a finger, and everyone went still. "The party can keep going, under one condition." I nodded so hard my neck hurt. I was ready to do anything. He pointed outside. "Grandma's in the car. Tonight, she parties. With all of you." My eyes widened because I had no idea why my parents wanted my grandma to party with a bunch of high schoolers. Before I could say anything, a chant started near the couch. "Grandma, Grandma!" I went to open the front door, and my 4'8" grandma immediately walked in wearing thick sunglasses, a crop top, and a jean skirt. "Grandma..."
Not even gonna lie, I'm taller than that.
What the? She handed me her tin. "Hold my cookies." She shook the nearest kid's hand like she was running for mayor. "Doris, you can call me D." She pulled the aux out of the DJ kid's hand and started playing Drake. Finally, some good shit. I walked up to my mom. "Mom, what is going on?" She whispered. "She sold her house yesterday. She'd spent 50 years in one town." Her voice went soft. "With Grandpa gone, we couldn't let her first night with us be a quiet one." By midnight, she was up on my kitchen table with 80 kids screaming, "D, D," instead of my name. 3 weeks of lunch alone, and now the whole school knew exactly who I was, Dee's grandson. I was doing scuba with 80 kids from my new
scuba with 80 kids from my new school. Scuba goes crazy.
My engine died in the middle of an empty road while there was nobody around, so I simply looked down and cranked the ignition until my tractor came back to life.
Just say it. How many cars has bro had? Like, I'm not even lying. Is this like his 15th one or something?
But then red and blue lights immediately lit up behind me. An officer stormed up to my window, red in the face, shouting, "Why were you going 130 miles per hour? The speed limit is 80. I laughed at first and pointed to my tractor's speedometer. "Officer, this thing tops out at 40. But he pulled out a speed camera that takes your photo and measures your speed. It showed me in my tractor 130 miles per hour underneath in red. My stomach dropped. "Your thing is broken. Look at what I'm driving." But he shook his head and slid the camera back into his belt. The camera doesn't lie. He yanked my door open and dragged me down onto the road. I stumbled as he spun me around and clicked the cuffs around my wrists. I screamed, "I wasn't speeding. I'm driving a 40-year-old tractor," but he was already pinning me against the hood of his cruiser. That's when I heard an engine rumble behind us. A guy on a superbike yanked off his helmet. "What's going on here?" The officer replied, "None of your business." But the biker calmly asked, "Are you arresting him for going 130? The officer's face shifted. "How do you know that?" The biker pointed at the officer's dash cam in his windshield. "Because I know what actually happened. Check the footage." The officer huffed and ripped the dash cam off the mount with me still cuffed beside him. The three of us watched me and my tractor, hunched over cranking my ignition. That's when a superbike drove past me in the video. The same superbike this biker was on. It had driven so fast, the speed camera couldn't photograph it in time. It clocked the speed of the bike at 130, but took a photo of my tractor, so it looked like I was the one going 130. The officer went pale as he realized I was innocent. The biker shrugged. "I turned around when I saw you pull him over. I can't let an innocent man get blamed for something I did." The officer fumbled the cuffs off my wrists, then spun toward the biker. "I admire your honesty, but you were speeding. Put your hands behind your back." But the biker just laughed. "Catch me if you can, buddy." He threw up 2 fingers and sped off before the officer could take a single step. My engine died.
"Catch me if you can, buddy" is diabolical. Nah, bro, these videos are too good.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I went to grab a towel from the closet. Instead of finding fresh linens, I found a full-grown circus clown tied up and gagged. This didn't make any sense. His face was painted exactly like the clown who was outside at this very moment performing for my birthday. I pulled the gag down from his mouth. He shouted at me, "You have to untie me right now. Everyone at your birthday party is in danger of being killed." I didn't know what to make of this situation, but I grabbed a pair of scissors from a side table by the door and cut his restraints. "Come on," he said. "We don't have much time." As we were running for the back door, the clown tried his best to bring me up to speed. His brother had just escaped from a mental hospital after he killed their mom. He found me here as I was getting ready.
Whoa.
this gig. He knocked me out and stuffed me in that closet. Your friends are in real danger. When we got to the backyard, the killer clown had my sister in a box and announced, "For my next trick, I will saw this little girl in half." The crowd looked on with amazement, thinking it was only a trick. "Stop right now. I know who you really are, clown. You're not hurting anyone." The killer clown leapt forward to attack me with the saw. Just then, his brother, with all the skill of a real professional clown, whipped a pie at the impersonator's face, leaving an imprint in the pie tin on impact. Once he was down, I grabbed the bat from next to the piñata and gave each of his legs a hard whack. "You're not going anywhere." The real clown made handcuffs out of a balloon animal and restrained the killer. The impersonator was sent back to the asylum, and the real birthday clown got a 5-star review. I couldn't believe.
Nice. Bro has too much traumas from childhood. Agreed. I'm still in childhood, but I'm scared of clowns.
I had just set a package down on the porch of this mansion when a dog the size of a grown man came off the steps and knocked me flat. I hit the concrete so hard the wind went right out of me and I couldn't even yell. Then his teeth sank into my leg and the yell came out all on its own. I'm on the ground kicking at him, trying to get him away, when the front door swings open and a woman comes running out in her bathrobe. "No, get away from my baby." I thought I was saved, but she ran right past me and got down on her knees next to the dog with tears running down her face. "Why did you attack my dog, you maniac?" I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. She immediately pulled out her phone and dialed 911 while I watched in shock. A crazy Amazon driver just attacked me and hurt my innocent dog. Then she leaned down close and whispered while smiling from ear to ear, "This is going to make me rich." Then the cop car pulled up, so I started to stand up because finally somebody was here to fix this. He got out, looked at the big house, looked at the woman cradling her dog, and decided I was the criminal. I desperately tried to argue my case. "You've got it wrong. I was the one who got attacked." For a second, his eyes dropped to my torn pants, and I thought he finally saw it. But the woman yelled, "This maniac came at my dog first, and my lawyer is already writing up the claim. So you're gonna want to get this right, officer." The cop nodded and reached for his cuffs. "You're under arrest, buddy." My heart started pounding. One false report on my record, and I'd lose the only job I had. I tried to tell him what actually happened, but he talked right over me like I wasn't even there. "Unless you got something that says differently, you're going straight to jail. Do you have a witness or a camera recording?" I almost said no. Then I remembered the camera on my vest. I clip one on every shift because customers lie about what.
Hold on. Was the camera there before?
I tried to tell him what actually happened, but he talked right over me like.
Okay, it's legit.
Saw a camera
He's legit,
recording?
he's legit,
I
yeah.
almost said no. Then I remembered the camera on my
I was
vest.
looking up
I
here.
clip one on
I was looking up here for a camera, but never mind. He's got one on
every shift because customers lie about what happens at their door, and it had been running since I clocked in that morning. My hands were shaking with fear, but I got it off and held the screen up so he could see. The dog coming off the porch, me with my arms full and not touching anything but the box. Then her own voice off to the side, clear as anything. "This is going to make me rich." She started shaking her head and opened her mouth, but nothing came out. The cop looked from the screen to her, and the cuffs he'd pulled for me went on her instead. "You're gonna want to call that lawyer." She wanted a check from Amazon, but the only one who got a fat check was me, thanks to her and her dog. I had just set a package
Anyway, guys, wait a second. She really ignored the huge camera.
down on the porch of this mansion when a
She really ignored that he had a camera on his vest. Wait, but here at the start, he doesn't
I
have
had just
one.
set a package down on the porch of this mansion when a dog the size of a grown man came off the steps and knocked.
Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you go subscribe to his story, and I'll see you guys in the next one.